After our initial review of Uovo, which is a new Italian restaurant here in Los Angeles where we did not have a great experience, the management reached out to us to come back and give them a second chance.
We love the concept of the restaurant and the food was good the first time around, so we were happy to go back and hopefully have a better experience.
I'm Phoebe.
I'm Adam.
We're the couple behind In the Great Wide, and the first time we went to Uovo was for our anniversary. It was on a Monday night. We went for dinner, actually still during the soft opening. So we were expecting it to be pretty empty, and it was not. It was packed.
Yeah, we had to wait 45 minutes for a table because Uovo does not take reservations.
Yeah, and the wait was an unpleasant experience, if we're being honest, because it was cold and rainy outside. It was January in Los Angeles, but there's nowhere to really wait for your table inside, so you kind of have to wait outside, but there's nowhere else like nearby where you can grab a drink while you wait either.
We put all of that info in our first video, and we're going to link to it now if you want to go back and take a look at that.
But after we published our review, some upper management from Uovo actually reached out to us, and they went through our critique point by point with us, which I really respect. It was good that they didn't skim over anything, you know, that they had a lot of attention to detail in what we had to say, and they took it all very seriously.
It's obvious they're very passionate about what they do, and they took the constructive criticism very well.
Yeah, the big problem that we had on our anniversary was a very drunk guy that was sitting near us that, from what he was saying, made us think he was an employee.
Yeah, he was there as a guest, but he was obviously hammered, and it made us uncomfortable when we were just trying to enjoy a romantic dinner.
Yeah, after reviewing their in-house cameras of the incident, Uovo management informed us that that man does not and has never worked for them. They said that they have no idea who he was, and that their policy is to not allow any employee to drink alcohol in the restaurant, even on their days off.
Which is very good to hear. Some restaurants allow it, and it can make for some uncomfortable times.
I think that it's fine to be able to do that, but don't get drunk where you work.
Yeah. We don't know what was up with that guy, but it unfortunately kind of ruined the evening for us and soured our lasting impression of Uovo.
But Uovo management invited us back to try to have a better experience, and we decided to go for lunch instead of dinner again, so that we could have the full experience and see the space in the daytime hours.
Yeah, we went on a Tuesday for lunch, and it was a completely different experience.
Yeah, the natural light really brightens up the space and makes it feel so much bigger. And we were able to walk in and be seated immediately.
Yeah, a regional manager named Hilario was there helping host and serve tables for the afternoon, so he was the one who took care of us.
Yeah, from my experience working in the restaurant industry, it is extremely rare for a regional manager to do that. So that may have only happened because they knew that we would be reviewing them again. But to be fair, we were not the only table that Hilario was serving that day. We only saw like one server there, and he was taking care of the other half of the restaurant. So without Hilario's help that day, the service definitely would have suffered. So I really appreciate someone in upper management in the restaurant who is willing to step in and take care of daily tasks on the ground level in a restaurant, because most of them will not do that.
Yeah, Hilario was very friendly and obviously very knowledgeable about the menu.
Yeah, Uovo was very specific about the quality of their ingredients and where they source them from. So we appreciated hearing about that attention to detail that they put in their food.
We didn't get to try the Crudo on the tasting menu the first time they were out, so we started with that.
Yeah, it was light and delicate and delicious. It was wonderful.
So tasty.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend it for sure.
Yeah. I ordered the lasagna, which is made with a green pasta that is made with spinach. It has 5 layers. There's also a bechamel sauce along with pork cheek, which I didn't know this, but apparently that's originally how lasagna was made. So they use an old traditional recipe using green pasta, but it was beautiful. It was stacked very well, and you could literally cut it with your fork and still keep the layers. It wouldn't just smash everywhere. It was so good.
And it was surprisingly light,
Yeah.
too, because I did try
Yeah.
a bite of it.
Yeah, it was. It looks like it should be heavy. Like most people think about lasagnas and they're heavy. This was very light and delicious and very filling.
Yeah, that's funny. It was light and it was filling, but it was tasty.
true.
It was wonderful. Yeah. And I ordered the carbonara, which is made with tonarelli pasta. And remember, their pasta is all made in Italy and overnight shipped to Los Angeles every single day. So it is super fresh and wonderful. I have never thought about pasta as being fluffy before, but as I was like twirling my pasta around on my fork, I was like, I literally turned to Adam and I was like, is it weird for me to say that this pasta looks fluffy?
Because it was. It was tasty.
Great.
It was cooked to perfection. It was amazing.
It was fantastic. And it also, the carbonara also had that same pork cheek in it instead of pancetta, which is more common in the US. So it's a more traditional, I think, version of the carbonara. And it was probably the best carbonara I think I've ever had.
It was really good.
It was really good.
All the food at this place has been amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. We also got a side of mushrooms, which I'm a huge fan of mushrooms.
Me too.
Ironically, because when I was young, I hated them. But they were so good, drizzled in olive oil and like just so tasty. I mean, I could have eaten an entire plate of mushrooms just by itself.
Yeah, I even joked about like just put some of those mushrooms in my carbonara, and then I was like, I don't know if that's sacrilegious, but they were tasty anyway.
Hey, if it tastes good, whatever. But the food was great, just like last time. The service was great, just like last time, and the atmosphere for us was much better during lunch.
Yes. So let's talk about what we would recommend Uovo in Studio City for. We would recommend it for a business lunch.
Yeah.
We saw two people sitting up at the bar countertop actually having a business meeting while they had a long lunch, I think it was. Yeah. So that would be a good spot for that.
It'd be great for out-of-town visitors for a weekday lunch if you have some people coming into town, because it is such a unique experience. I mean, they fly in their pasta every night, so like that's not something you're going to get pretty much anywhere else in the country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would recommend it for like a birthday lunch. Like if you're just like, I'm hanging out on my birthday and me and my partner want to go have a nice leisurely lunch. I don't mind splurging because it's my birthday. Go and do the tasting menu for lunch, because that would be a great thing to do as long as it's on a weekday.
Yeah, any kind of special occasion lunch that's during the week, this place is perfect for.
Yeah, and I did ask about how busy the lunches usually are there, because I was surprised at the stark difference between going on a Monday night for dinner and how packed they were, and going for a Tuesday for lunch, and we were able to walk right in. And they said that the weekends there for lunch are crazy busy, just like dinner is every night. So weekday lunches are definitely where it's at if you're trying to not have to wait for a table.
Being that this place is much more casual than we were expecting, what we don't recommend this place for is any special occasion dinner where you would want to have a reservation, because they don't have them.
Yeah. I mean, you have to expect to wait at least half an hour to sit. At least. We waited 45 minutes on our anniversary to be seated. And even then, you're not guaranteed to have a table. I think the majority of the seating at this restaurant is bar countertop seating where you're facing the kitchen, which could be a lot of fun for some people. It wasn't what we were looking for our anniversary, but I understand, some people would be really interested in that. So it could be good for that.
Even after waiting to get a table, if you do get a table, which is not guaranteed, they're very close together, so the space feels really tight, which kind of kills the romantic vibe.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't recommend it either for parties larger than 2 for dinner, because you would have, all of their tables are set up for 2 people each, and they only have 8 of them.
Yeah.
So you would have to wait a long time for 2 tables that are next to each other to open up, for them to push together to be able to be seated all together. And sitting up at the bar with more than 3 people, like, it's just awkward when you're sitting shoulder to shoulder with people and you're just like trying to talk to each other. It's weird.
Even 3 people is still a little awkward.
Yeah.
The 2 people on the outside have conversations. The one in the middle is always kind of like, well, I don't know. Yeah. So, 2 people, casual, sure.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the price point for the tasting menu, while it is relatively very affordable, it's $37 per person for 5 courses. So that's a great deal. But it's still out of our price range for like a non-special occasion dinner. Like we
Right.
wouldn't be able to like afford to just go
No.
there like on a random Friday night.
Yeah, just a whim. The lunch we had on that Tuesday would have cost us $77, which is pricey for us for lunch. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah, $77 lunch is up there for us at
Yeah.
least. However, full disclosure, Uovo decided to comp our full meal to make up for the negative experience that we had the first time around, which we do very much appreciate.
Yes.
we-
We did try to pay for our drinks
Yeah.
because we had a glass of wine and a beer, but they wanted to take care of it for us.
Yeah, and then we tried to leave a tip for the service, but Hilario refused it, saying that they are a no-tip establishment because they pay their employees a higher wage.
Which is great. They actually pay them a living wage, and they don't have to rely on tips. So it's great. Apparently, all of their sister companies, sister restaurants and stuff do the same thing. So it's good to know that they're trending that direction.
Yeah, it makes it more consistent. It
Yeah.
makes the pay more consistent for their
Yeah.
employees. So all in all, lunch was a far better experience than dinner. So if you want to try this place, a weekday lunch is the best way to go.
Yeah, the food is great, and we respect their passion for what they do.
And we appreciate them being open to criticism and wanting to improve, and the concern that they show to ensure that everyone has a good experience there is, I think, rare.
Yeah,
To see that amount of passion
It was
there.
nice to get an email from the manager saying, "Hey, like we want to talk about this."
Yeah.
Beyond the fact that there was this drunk guy, but like they wanted to make sure that we had a good time.
Yeah. So after the second experience, we can, in good conscience, recommend it for a nice lunch because it is a unique experience and the food is very tasty.
If you know of any other unique experience restaurants we should try, let us know in the comments because we're always looking for recommendations.
Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the Great Wide somewhere.